Don't
Who,
say
me?
I mean, before you came to here. I mean,
my
not
bad.
the answer you give to immigration, the answer you tell us. From Nashville. I didn't know they had huts in Nashville.
That's so
It's
terrible.
crazy. So, of
Welcome
course,
in,
Nolan Wells
Loretta.
still continues to be a hot
Welcome in, Loretta, from the Facebook side. Appreciate you, ma'am. Thank you.
topic. And for everybody that asked me why we still talking about Nolan Wells, one man's Nolan Wells is another man's, Amanda. What was it?
Natalie Holloway.
Natalie Holloway.
One man's Nolan Wells is another man's Natalie Holloway. Remember, we knew all about Joran Vandersloot, and we knew all about Aruba, and we knew all was happening. Do you think that Nolan Wells was murdered?
I do.
You do?
100%.
I think that Mississippi's going to be Mississippi. I think that black people are right to question all of the circumstances that have arisen. You have a young man, and almost everything we know about this case, we know because black people wouldn't let it go. Like his mother and her sister, or her somebody closely associated with her, found his phone. A young woman, cleaned the audio up so we could hear other things. And so everything we know, but Mississippi is being exactly what Mississippi has always been, and they are dubious and dismissive in terms of black lives. They don't have. You have just as recently as 2024, there were 215 black men who were found in the pauper's grave behind a local sheriff department. 215. All that was missing was a metal. All that was there to signify that there was a metal plate. It only came to light because a mother was looking for one of her, looking for a child, and they happened to find it there. Nobody said 215 people. That's a lot of people. You have Medgar Evers. It took 31 years and 3 trials to finally get a justice for him. You had not even 4 weeks ago, a 1-year-old boy was shot by a police officer who has, it's been said that he's had racist connections. We don't hear anything about that. Mississippi has been actively participating in poisoning the water of, or not even poisoning, allowing the citizens of Jackson to be poisoned with the water supply. The very same things that existed in the 60s exist now. So they have a dubious history when it comes to the value of black lives. I remember I was playing a gig in Jackson. I stayed at a brand new Westin. It was a brand new Westin they had built in Jackson. It was right across from the jail. And I have a 135-pound Akita. He would travel with me all the time. As soon as we get to the hotel, I get him water. This dude starts shitting everywhere an hour later. I go to the vet, and he said, did he drink the water? Because every few months, the water is so bad that Jackson have a boil advisory. And they know what's happening. They've taken all of their political power away. So why would I believe you? The only reason we know anything is because black people haven't let it go.
I think it's also worth mentioning when you're talking about things that happened dubiously in Mississippi in 2022. Remember Demontario Gibson?
Yes.
The FedEx truck driver,
right,
where a father and son shot him.
So this is a good conversation I wanted to have too, right? Because without Nolan Wells, not saying everybody, but most people wouldn't even be talking about these cases. We're going to talk about it in one of our last topics, even the thing they did today with all the parents, right? With the Nolan Wells family, with the young gentleman from our city in Dallas-Fort Worth, who was also drowned and his friends left him. None of this would have been talked about without Nolan Wells. And I think that's always the bigger conversation I try to put forward is like, okay, how do we bring the light to everything like we're bringing the light to every other situations? I know everything's not going to be, you can't pick every crime, right? We'll be on here every day for every second of the day. I understand that, but it's almost like we can easily recall things that have happened. But it's like, okay, but why weren't we given this information or talked about this? Why wasn't that pushed in front of our faces so that we then could support this family that she's currently talking about, that this happened with in 2022 during a pandemic that we know was a lie now, which we'll talk about that next week. But with all that, like those are my questions. I know there might be a big axe, right? It might be something that I know it's impossible to see everything, but it's almost like I think we need to really start covering, even if it's a piece of things, just putting the case out there. I think it's going to be very important that we start doing that because, again, I always tell everybody, we the creators are the voice of media now. Like, so regardless how big or how small or how minute, even if it's 100 people that watch it, that's 100 different people who now took in information that they probably wasn't going to take in from anywhere else. So we just got to do our due diligence to try to do our best to like cover some of those things. That's my biggest thing. Is how do we do this? How do we pick? He said it's a fair. Yeah, like that's my biggest thing. That's what I always been trying to push. It's like I get it, right? Like I get that right now. And then like I just have a lot of mixed emotions, bro. Like even watching the thing today, why I feel like we kind of taken away from Nolan Wells.
Because the other two was
because now we're adding the other two kids in there. To me, that's taken away from Nolan Wells. Like that's my opinion. That's just me thinking out loud. Everybody can push back or feel a certain way, but it's almost like, okay, now you're bringing up this kid that happened in Dallas. You're bringing up this other person that was found behind a store. Like it's like, okay, but why didn't we have this type of momentum for those people? Like how do we?
If it doesn't get spread from the local news is across the nation, however this got momentum, each of those cases have to get that same momentum for whatever reason, So what it's up to the locals who feel some type of way to push it forward, to get the news stories out there. And like Classic said too, there's so much going on. We will be covering it forever, and I will say that even July has been so heavy in my spirit because of this, because I'm a mother as well. So July has been so heavy. So sometimes we got to step away from this, in order to, pull our spirits back up. But then you still want that justice for these parents so they can put it to rest as well, or they can have that closure as well, So it's up to the locals, though, I would say, in order to push those stories out there to the masses. I've been reading, stories or trying to read stories across the nation. Sometimes I get, you've seen it on the radar. I get bogged down in Florida, or I'll get bogged down in Texas, or I'll get bogged down in Chicago area. So I think it's more so up to the locals to start pushing those things out there.
Yeah.
And it's so much stuff going on that everything can't come to the light,
Yeah.
So
yeah. And I do agree with Classic on this one. Like they did do a good job. Like, because like once you get invested in it, and I think, and I'm gonna say this right here, I think for anybody now, man, once we find out things and things start moving forward, I would encourage people to start doing more of your local news, more of things that affect you in your community, and talking about that more on your different platforms, because then I think we can at least get small pods of groups of people. If you got 1,000 people watching what happened in Shreveport, Louisiana about this young black man or young black girl or whoever it may be, something happened to them, I think we can at least push that out to the thousands of people who are going to view it, right? So that's going to be my goal moving forward. Is like, if I hear about something, I'm going to at least speak on it, at least try to bring it to the forefront, regardless if media thinks it's a big deal. Because like kind of like what Class said, I think that's what they wanted to do, right? They wanted us to kind of start picking and choosing. And it almost goes back to that slogan back in the day, when they were talking about, how everybody started arguing about all lives matters when they started the Black Lives Matters thing. It's almost like they made you start choosing at that point, instead of saying, you know what, a tragedy is a tragedy, period. And we got to cover it. Like, I don't care if it's little John from Tupelo, Mississippi. Like, John passed away. I need to be talking about John, even if it's that one episode that week that we talk about him. So I would highly encourage you guys to really start looking at your local news, your local pressers, and really start putting the news out, man, if that's what you're passionate about. So.
Yeah.
Killed him, and we're both acquitted.
And then the two FedEx driver, well, actually they shot at him, and the judge suspended the case with prejudice, or dismissed the case with prejudice. And they got that right with prejudice. We are right to be dismissive or to be suspicious of people who've shown us who they are. Mississippi going Mississippi. There's nothing inconsistent about what we know Mississippi to be. I'm not saying that everything that happens there is this way, but they're not. The governor of Mississippi comes out and calls, basically says that Ben Crump and Al Sharpton are stirring up racial strife. No, that ain't gonna happen. If it weren't for them and people bring it, I can understand, and I don't know what happened, but I do know that a young man is dead, and the fact that his mother, who only wants to see justice for her child, is getting doxxed, like her job is getting bad reviews, her personal business getting bad reviews, and getting death threats. Right. Ain't nothing more Mississippi than threatening black people for nothing. I don't understand what we don't trust you because you've proven to be untrustworthy. Your governor has never said anything, and when he does say something about what's going on in Mississippi, the first thing he really talks about, if any significant to any significant degree, is to malign Ben Crump and Al Sharpton. It sounds like outside agitators, right? Sound like what they used to say before.
Right.
It's interesting that Brandon Tatum is welcome in Mississippi when Ben Crump and Al Sharpton are not, for the exact same reason that Stephen A. Smith is welcome at ESPN and Ryan Clark are not. Is not. Anybody who says or asks questions, you talking about a state that got mad because niggas tried to read.
He said that it could be.
And now the new extrapolation of that, the new extension of that is people having internet. So what is it? Why would I trust you? I don't know what happened, but I do know this. Maybe the hang up for me is that they keep bantering, throwing around this word friends. We were his friends. We were his best friends. Who was it? This young man this young man right here.
If Nolan could dig himself out of the grave,
for me too. The friends,
no doubt.
They keep throwing around the word friend.
Nolan would be livid as an understatement. Nolan would never want anything pursued this way, at all. I think he would be really upset with his parents about how they went about the situation. I think he generally would. I don't think he wouldn't support it. I know that for 110%. I know he wouldn't support any of it.
Best friends? Like I was told the story on the radio earlier this week. I had a best friend, a good friend of mine named Kevin. And Kevin and I were best friends. We would get into it all the time. 16 years old, he had a great job, moved in with his girl. The girl had a kid by somebody else. There was always friction. One day, Kevin asked me to get his back with him. And normally I would, but this time I got so mad at him and told her to leave the girl alone. We had a fight. An argument ensued. I'm like, fuck you, go. And Kevin got killed. And I was so hurt by that. And a lot of people in the neighborhood, I remember, and I told the story on the radio, a dude named Roger said, you let that boy to drown by himself. My mother didn't want me to go to the funeral because she thought that the people they were so mad at me. People just thought they were going to harm me. He was my friend. And I had to say, because if that's your friend, that's the last time you're ever going to see him again, ever. Ever. But these young people throw friend around. When you are grown and you understand what the value of a friend, you understand if you have 5 good friends, you have been blessed. And I had to go say goodbye. The fact that you weren't compelled to say goodbye to somebody, the fact that you didn't have any grief or lament, the fact that you couldn't even access and try to ascertain what part you could have played in it, lets me know I'm not saying they're guilty, but wasn't one fucking friend in the bunch. Not one of them a friend. They can say acquaintances. They can say I was cool with. They can say teammates. You can't tell me a friend. You can't call yourself a friend. Now it's such a cliche word. You did BFF, my best friend for life, and this and they even connect the names, Benifer and all that kind of. When you got a friend, it ain't shit you won't do for them.
True.
I'm talking about a friend, and not one of them have done anything. I think the problem we're having is that Mississippi is Mississippian, and they're mismonitoring friends. None of them have acted friendly. None of them have done the things that we associate with friendship.
Right. They held on to the phone.
Right.
I think they're being advised or just told you can't be there, except when Officer Tatum comes through. They've been welcomed to an interview.
I would say this. When you hear, they have a scrubbed audio, right? So this is a scrubbed audio.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working.
I'm gonna start it back, y'all. Rain trying to really hear it, so I'm gonna start
I was closing my eyes, so
I got you. I'm gonna start it back. I'm gonna actually slow it down. I'm gonna slow it down to normal speed so you can really hear it.
Okay.
Scrubbed audio, right? So this is a scrubbed audio.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and Our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
They're threatening the woman who scrubbed the audio. Why is it that black women and black men are the ones who are moving this case forward? Why is it that it was his mother?
What you think? What you think you heard there?
But I think I heard that time with my eyes closed and I reading the transcript.
Yeah.
I think I heard the battery's about to die or we're all about to die. Because if they're saying the boat is sinking, you would think that you're about to die. But I mean, I would hope that most of them know how to swim out there. If you're on a boat or enough to save themselves. I still heard shut the F up. I didn't hear wake the F up. I heard shut the F up. I don't think I heard Nolan's name that time. And it might have been a different area of the audio. They might have even said he's about to die. I have no idea. I'm not certain.
Do anybody know how many women they said was with them? Because I know people kept focusing on Kate, but I heard a lot of females back there.
Yeah, but see, at that time, weren't they all like surrounded by other boats and whatnot at the time that they were supposedly singing before they left the island or about to leave the island?
Oh, see that he said that word too. Yeah, okay. I heard more female voices. Like I heard like I heard multiple female voices, and like I know we only been talking about Kate, but I wonder who that other female is.
But Kate didn't ride with him, did she? Did she ride with another boat?
He said according to the image,
Didn't Katie ride with another boat?
It don't really matter about what boat they rode in because that was just what the boat they left on. You see what I mean? Okay, that doesn't mean that they all couldn't have been on the same boat before they started taking on water.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like I'm trying to see like the full picture. Like just because they say they left a certain way doesn't mean that's how they were before the boat started sinking.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very unique because I got to go find this white guy. It was a white guy 2 days after this event. He was the first person to truly talk about the boat was taking on water. And nobody was talking about that at first. Because remember, we first found they first tried to tell us that nobody was called, there was no tow. Like we got all that first. We got all the first lies. But it was a white dude that I got to find his stuff because I wonder what else he's been covering. Because he was the first one to say, nah, they were taking on water. But I wonder what the rest of his story would be today. I got to go find him on social media because it was like day 2 in, and he was the first person I heard talk about it. It was actually somebody, I want to say Plug sent it over to me. Mary said, if the boat was sinking, why did they tell the dispatcher they were no longer needed? Another good question. Kate was on a different boat. Remember, he allegedly stayed on the island with her. Yeah, but do we know if they stayed on a boat or you see what I mean? Like they all could have been out there around each other too. You know what I mean? Because when tragedy happens, everybody tries to jump in, right? So we don't know if hypothetically he was passing away on that boat and everybody jumping over, trying to save, and now he's making a phone call. Like we really don't know. Like I'm trying not to put too much weight on who was on what boat because in the midst of all this tragedy, people could have been all together in that one area. But I heard multiple women in that video for sure.
Yeah.
Like for sure. So yeah. So man, yeah. So DL Hughley and his team covered this. They was talking in they talked more matter of factly. DL Hughley did have some subjectivity with his question, like with his opinion. He was giving more of the history and why you could feel the way you feel about Mississippi. But the questions he was asking them, they were just pretty much like point blank calling it out in their opinion. So I'm gonna move on to this part because he starts to talk about because you know him and Officer Tatum actually had their back and forth.
Okay.
He said they rode around on that broken boat for a while. That is what the GPS said too. It was moving a lot for it to be a boat that was drowning or sinking.
Like father.
But they supposedly fixed the bilge pump. No, I'm sorry. They supposedly fixed it though. They got it going again. Supposedly, allegedly. I'm like, that must have been
But I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. The boat sinking, none of that really don't matter. like when you think about what we're trying to get to,
yeah,
I don't care if they was on a canoe. Like, what happened to Nolan? That's really
the question.
That's the question. Like, what happened to Nolan? I don't care if the boat was sinking. Like I don't care about none of that. I want to know what happened to Nolan, because the boat stuff don't matter no more. That's just another distraction.
That's all.
That's another distraction. He said, "Come on, Wayne."
Yeah, we know. We know class.
Well, I can't. That Brandon. I'm not gonna call myself Officer Tatum because it's sucker shit to call yourself the job you used to have. It is. If we were together and we ain't no more, I'm your ex, right?
Yeah.
Right? I'm your ex.
Not with him. He's still your boyfriend.
That's how you know. When you're a black man, they make you hold the shit you used to be, so it holds weight now. It holds weight now. I'm not knocking this dude. He looks like the kind of man that would have to marry a white woman. He does. He does. He looks like anytime a man called himself what he used to be, he was a football player and failed at that. Then he found his way into police work, right? Now he's out of that. Now he's always looking for the same adulates and same cheers he used to get on the football field. And usually them came from white coaches. So he's only doing what he's been trained to do.
Wow.
This dude is it. And now to get there, and this dude's talking about he was on cocaine, and listen to this.
Someone close to Nolan, one of his friends, told me that this person was offered cocaine and rejected it from this person. This person told me that it's over 100% chance that Nolan was using cocaine during this period of time.
If he was in fact on cocaine and did cocaine and alcohol, the best time to do shit like that is when you're young. If he were a 50-year-old dude doing it, established-year-old dude doing it, it would be a blight. But all of us, I've done cocaine, right?
Wait.
Hold up.
You've done cocaine, right? No. Well, you from Africa. I don't know what you did.
I have not done cocaine.
Okay, I have. Have you done cocaine
First of all,
before?
my mama watching this show. You ain't supposed to be saying shit like I done cocaine. You done. How about we just say everybody here?
He said, Richard said, by now this case is not took serious by anyone. I think it is. I think it's from people like us. Classic's been covering this very closely. Like I think there are people who are taking it serious, Rigid. I think the bigger celebrities are in a pissing contest. They're talking about each other instead of just going to the facts of the case. So I think when you see it from the bigger platforms, you might feel like that. But I think the people who really care. But like I think a lot of this stuff is like a pissing contest for the rest of the celebrities when they're going back and forth about their personal instead of just keeping it on what it is. He said, Mary said, what person? What's the name of this said person?
I think the one that told Officer Tatum.
Oh. He never dropped the name, Mario, when I watched the little clip. So
I'll say this. What bugs me about Officer Nolan, Officer Tatum.
Mhm.
It sounded good, didn't it? Officer Tatum, I did it again. Is why spew these facts that you're getting from a back end, but there's no confirmed reports yet. Like there's no confirmed toxicology report. And are you doing it for clicks? Are you doing it so people can say tune in to you? What are you really doing? Why even spew that out? Why even put that out there when it's a possibility that it can't be true. So you're going to have to retract your statement. Oh, no, he didn't have it in the system. The toxicology report came back and he was clean. So why even throw that out there in the mix of all the mud that's being spewed around anyway?
I think it's now, again, I told you, I think it's just a pissing contest, right? Like, I try to watch the full videos of these things because you can really see what's really going on. Like, if you really watch the first part of that interview before also, see, they just clipping it for you. But if you go watch the whole thing, Officer Tatum opens that video up talking about the people who have slandered his name so far.
So is this get back?
I'm serious. Like, that's why I was kind of speaking to Rigid's point, right? Yeah. You're starting to see these big people take it personal, and they're worrying about what people are saying about them instead of them just covering the case.
Yeah.
Like, it's no longer about Nolan. They having a pissing contest between each other. Like you're insulting the character instead of just having just talk about the case. Y'all can have that pissing contest after we find out what happened to Nolan.
And of course they're trying to find any negativity that they can link to Nolan to tarnish his name, because his mother spoke very highly of him. Family have spoken very highly of him. Even his own friends, so-called friends, have spoken very highly of him. So they're trying to find something in the mix to tarnish that great look that Nolan has, was all who he was, basically. So, yeah.
Regis said, but we're doing nothing. Our words are not enough, just throwing away grievances. Not saying go to war, but it's nobody that could make something happen being addressed. And Rigid, I think that goes back to Mario asked pretty much the same question in a shorter form, right? She asked, why isn't it no huge protest going on in Mississippi? And once I'm trying to see the best way to put it. You get to see what people really are willing to stand up for. I think people who are covering it has more courage than the people who are not protesting, the people who are not in front out there in Mississippi. Like, I think what you're saying is definitely right. With that being said, we don't know if people not stacking up to go to war. We don't know.
And his mother asked for people not to, for the protest not to cause any ruckus, basically. Be peaceful in a way that you're doing. I've seen some peaceful protests going on the news agencies and whatnot, where they're walking and they're saying justice for Nolan, and they're keeping quiet. They're not causing any, damages to the city and things like that. So they're following along what Miss Christine asked them to do, which is commendable. But if it's not,
Mary, I was about to say that. Mary. That's really what it, and that's why I always tell people, like, when things hit the fan, you're gonna find out who really gonna do what.
When the funk hits the fan, it's gonna smell like chitlins, collard greens, and pan.
I'm telling you, I agree with Miss Mary on that, man. I agree. They live there. And it kind, that Mary, that probably answers my question that I had initially. I ain't gonna lie to you, initially about